भी आपको बताएं कि मेयर ऑफ लंदन हुमराह पहुंच चुके हैं। ये लाइव मनाजिर हैं जो आप अपनी टेलीविजन स्क्रीन पर मुलाहिजा कर सकते हैं। मेयर ऑफ लंदन बने हैं लाहौर के मेहमान, उनकी तारीखी इमारत का उनको दौरा कराया गया और अब वो हुमराह हॉल पहुंच चुके हैं जहां पर तकरीब का एहतमाम किया गया है।
जी बिल्कुल, ख़ुसूसी तौर पर मेयर ऑफ लंदन के लिए तकरीब का एहतमाम किया गया हुमराह हॉल में, जहां इस वक्त मौजूद हैं मेयर ऑफ लंदन सादिक अमान खान। आपको बताते चले मेट्रोपॉलिटन कॉर्पोरेशन की जानिब से तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया है हुमराह में।
ये लोग मेरे अम्मी अबू यहाँ से आए हैं, मेरी फैमिली इस इन पाकिस्तान, और बहुत फ़ख्र है जो आपकी मेरी मदद करते हैं, जो आप मेरे लिए दुआ करते हैं, जो आपके बेस्ट विशेस मुझे सेंड करते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
So, can we fix the sound, please? Fix the sound. So, is Lahore less smoggy than Delhi?
Nice. She's causing problems now. She wants a Pakistan-India story. She's asking where the smog is worse, Lahore or Delhi. The answer is London.
Okay.
all major cities it's challenge. And the challenge is as our populations rise and more people go to cities, how we address the problems that brings. And one of the things we are trying to do in this is to learn lessons. Lahore, London, Delhi, Mumbai, Karachi, we can all learn from each other. One of the things I'm keen to avoid is British people or me to lecture you in an arrogant way, or to tell you we do things much better. We can learn from you and you can learn from us.
Well, it's interesting that you made this trip together with India and Pakistan. Why is that so? Because we have a separate relationship with Britain.
असल में काफ़ी एडवाइस कर रहे थे कि सिर्फ पाकिस्तान जाए या सिर्फ इंडिया जाए. It's not normal for British politicians to do both countries on the same trip. It's not been done for a generation, and it's not been done where you cross the land border from Amritsar to Lahore. But I was very keen to show London that actually we have something to offer other parts of the world. One of the great things about London is whether you're a Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, whether you're a Christian, a Jew, Buddhist, whether you belong to organised faith or don't, whether you're rich, poor, old, young, we don't simply tolerate each other, we respect, we celebrate and we embrace each other. And look, we've got great relations with Indian cities and great relations with Pakistani cities, and 6 cities, 6 dates. But actually the story of this trip is not dissimilar to the story of my family.
I was going to come to that.
We're in India, well, it's currently India before Pakistan, moved to Pakistan, and I think there's a symbolism in me going from India to Pakistan today.
So how? Yes, I mean, can you fix the sound because it's very distracting? Can you try and fix the sound? Okay, I think that we have jammers here, with the. So let's try and continue. Now, this is obviously.
Can you hear me at the back? Can you hear me from that side? The front? This side? Good. If you can't hear me, I was very good a little while ago.
Okay. So I know that this is your first trip as mayor, but this is obviously not your first trip to Pakistan. Your family is from here. So how Pakistani do you actually feel?
Look, my parents' country of origin is Pakistan. I visited Pakistan many times. Dada Dadi, Nana Nani, Khala Khalas, Chatus, cousins. They all were here and some of them are still alive and still here. So fond memories of Pakistan, coming to many weddings, visiting my family. I brought my children to Pakistan, my wife of course, and many Londoners have an emotional attachment to Pakistan for obvious reasons. With connections with business or tourism or education or sports. But many of us have family here, and some of the hospitality I've received today has been amazing, and it will stay with me forever. But I genuinely believe that we have multiple identities. So I can be a Londoner, I can be British, I can be a Muslim, I can be of Pakistani origin, I can be of Asian heritage, I can be a husband, I can be a father. All these things, they're not inconsistent one with the other.
But you know, you have an incredible personal story, and I know most people here are going to be interested in that. Because, and it's often repeated phrase, the son of a bus driver, you came from, 7 siblings you have, you lived in a council flat, and then you grew up to be the mayor of London. It could not have been that easy. I went to boarding school in England, and I faced racism. So how difficult was it?
Look, I genuinely believe, and apologies to viewers in Lahore, Karachi, Faisalabad, Hyderabad, Islamabad, London is the greatest city in the world. And
but is it about?
But it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Look, when my parents first went to London, there would be signs in guest houses, in restaurants, saying no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. And by no blacks, they meant anybody that wasn't white. That's my parents' first impressions. A lot of them were good. First impressions of London. When I grew up, like you, I suffered racism. Name calling, often getting into fights, learning to defend yourself. My children are being raised in the same area as I was, and they've not experienced anywhere near the challenges that I did. I didn't experience the challenges like my parents did. That shows the progress that we've made. I'm not pretending things are perfect, but one of the things I'm most proud of as the Mayor of London is that I'm everyone's mayor. I go to masjids, to gurdwaras, to temples, to churches, to synagogues. My team is a team where there are people from all different backgrounds. And that actually is not simply London's story. That was the vision of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Qadi Azam, when Pakistan was formed. So there's nothing inconsistent with me having those values, and my parents, as former Pakistanis, having those values too.
London and Britain is a class trying to, figure out how did you actually make it and what really inspired you, what kept you going, because you speak of racism, you speak of it when you were at a football match in Chelsea.
Look, I have something called, I call it the London Promise. And the London Promise is you work hard, you get a helping hand, and you can achieve anything. That's the London Promise. And my criticism of nowadays is lots of people are working hard, but there's no helping hand to fulfill their potential. And I was very lucky. My parents encouraged all of us to work hard in education. I was very lucky. The teachers at school encouraged us to reach for the stars and do anything. But when I was growing up, I didn't see professionals. I had no experience with professionals. But the teachers pushed me. I was lucky to go to university. I was lucky to be given a job as a lawyer, and a combination of working hard and helping hands. I'm blessed. I'm blessed because throughout my life there have been mentors and people who've encouraged and helped me, and that's actually how successful societies thrive. Those of us who become successful, rather than simply hoarding it, put up more ladders for others to fulfill their potential too. So
is Britain ready for a Muslim Prime Minister?
Sure. And I'll help him and her reach that top. And anybody who's watching from Britain who is a Muslim who wants to be Prime Minister, I'm going to help you.
But is this it, the Mayor of London, or are you?
No, I've got the best job in the world. I know you love your job, but I love my job. I've got the best job in the world, and 18 months in, I'm loving it. I'm looking forward to serving many, many more terms as the Mayor.
So what brings you to Pakistan?
Well, I'm here as part of this mission, trade mission. We're doing 6 cities in 6 days.
Yes.
Mumbai, Delhi, Amritsar, Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi. And the key thing is to spread a message with 3 words, 3 simple words. London is open. And the reason why I say this is because there may be an impression created, particularly post the Brexit vote, that we're going to stop being open-minded, outward-looking. And the key message for this visit is London is open. London is open to business, to talent, to partnership, to friendship. If you want to study, if you want to invest, if you want to visit, and it's important that we spread that message.
But how is that going to happen? Because recently a lot of Pakistanis have been refused visas, hundreds of them. So how can you campaign to ensure that visa laws are softened a bit?
Well, some Pakistanis have been refused visas, but a lot of them haven't.
It's very cumbersome. Even the process is very cumbersome. It's very expensive to get it.
So I'm lobbying the government to change the rules around immigration. I'm encouraging the government to introduce a new post-study work visa. to remove students from the immigration camp, to make it easier for entrepreneurs to come to the UK. We're addressing that issue. But at the moment, London and Pakistan, UK and Pakistan, does lots of good things together. Trade, £2.5 billion worth of trade. Education. London is the student capital of the world. More international students in London than any city in the world. The founder of Pakistan, of course, famously studied in London. Look at sports. Some of you may have watched the Champions Trophy, which I forgot who won, but took place in my country. Sport's very important. Tourism. We are the city with the largest number of tourists of any city in the world. 4 out of 5 tourists come because of our culture. Theatres, museums, galleries, restaurants, and the Pakistani diaspora in London, they're Londoners by the way, Londoners of Pakistani origin contribute hugely to our city being a great city. Doctors, journalists, judges, businessmen and women, artists, and dare I say politicians too.
You know, it's interesting you mention artists, and there are lots of artists here in the audience. I was wondering what London can, because I know that we have some kind of a treaty with the UK, like a trade and art and culture treaty. What more can London do to invite and to make London more attractive for artists here in Pakistan?
So I have a saying which I campaigned on and which I talk about a lot, which is culture is the DNA of a great city. It's also the glue that binds us together. And I'm the first mayor to have culture as one of my priorities. Of course, transport is important, housing is important, security is important, but culture is very important. I don't want a city of Philistines. I want a city where we enjoy culture, we enjoy the benefits of art and museum, but also culture is economically very profitable. 1 out of 6 jobs in London is in the creative industries. It's one of the areas that can't be replaced by robots. Automation, artificial intelligence doesn't replace culture, and so it's a big priority of ours. We founded the culture cities around the world, and we're doing lots of work around the area.
मेयर ऑफ लंदन अलहमरा हॉल में मौजूद हैं। मेयर लंदन के नाम से तकरीब का एहतमाम किया गया।